So, Manchester United take on them this weekend. I've got Nigel Rothband. There we go. Nigel Rothband from the Man City podcast in here to chat about the derby. Is this the biggest derby between the two clubs?
Well, it's the biggest derby since the last derby, isn't it? And I think the focus, probably more than normal, is going to be on the two managers. I think it's probably going to be more cameras on the touchline looking at Jose and Pep than there is on the 22 out on the field, unfortunately. But it's going to be a tight affair, and we've both had perfect starts to the season. Both won all our games. I think you've probably scored more than us, or let in. No, our goal. We're above you. Our goal difference is better than yours.
Well, so we've only conceded one goal here, can't we?
But our goal difference is better. We're scoring at will. But yeah, no. Being serious, it's going to be, I think, a tight affair. But really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect because, as you say, there's so many rivalries you can do on the pitch. You've got obviously Pep versus Jose, which I think will take a bit of the limelight away. But in some occasions, it's good when a manager can deflect pressure away from the players. It can make them hopefully play better. It would be Ibrahimovic against Aguero, but he decided to go full Fellaini and elbow Reed. And what's your take on that? Right to be banned?
Very straightforward. Absolutely right to be banned.
What do you think about that? Aguero mentally himself doing that when he knows the next game is a derby. That's a bit inexperienced, isn't it?
Well, he's hardly inexperienced. I know what you're saying, but I think what happened was, and you know this, he gets kicked every single game. They'd obviously had a few shenanigans throughout the whole game, and sometimes the red mist comes down, and it was a clear elbow, and he should be banned. I don't think most City fans would agree with that. Fellaini gets banned, Aguero gets banned. It's right.
Do you think that you can cope with that Aguero though? Because in the last couple of years, whenever Aguero's been out of your team, you've been very limp. He's always been the linchpin of your attack. You've obviously got Nolito now, Sterling, Iheanacho. I don't even know if he's fit or not to play the game, but how are you going to cope?
Well, I think the beauty is we have now got options, and you've mentioned some already, Sam. So, yeah, I saw a statistic this week, actually, that said that I think we scored, the average is we get 2 points when Aguero plays and 2.17 when he doesn't play. Now, it's a bit of an odd statistics, but I guess it's all about the teams. Well, it's a true one, apparently. But going back to the point, I think, yeah, of course, would we rather have Aguero playing? Yeah, of course we should. Of course we would. But we have got options. You've mentioned Nolito, who's been a bit of a surprise package this year. He can play wide on the right. He can come in. He wears the number 9 shirt. He could play as a striker. I think you won't like me saying this, but Sterling's had a newfound confidence. Had a terrible season last season.
Yeah, he was shocking.
Terrible Euros. Gets booed. I'm sure he'll be booed every time he touches the ball. But actually, he's had a pretty good start to the season. You know that. He's a number of assists. He scored a couple. So Sterling's there. Silva is fantastic. We love De Bruyne. So City have got options.
De Bruyne's by far and away your best player by some margin now.
We love De Bruyne.
I think David Silva's the influence of Silva's gone at the same time as De Bruyne's come in and taken over that mantle. And I think you look at Man United's options. That's what makes this derby, I think, potentially one of the biggest on paper. Because as I said, you got Ibrahimovic against Aguero, you could Pogba against De Bruyne, you've got Bravo now, is actually looks like you might have a decent goalkeeper. Because let's be honest, Joe Hart was never that good a goalkeeper.
Well, you're not going to challenge that. He's been great for 10 years. We won 2 league titles, an FA Cup, 2 league cups. He's been fantastic. But clearly something's gone on there between him and Pep. We don't know what it is. They've clearly had a conversation, and Pep didn't want to. But I think it's been handled very well, to be fair. I think Pep.
Torino, though, surely another club at Torino would have wanted Joe Hart.
Well, they didn't, did they? So in a way, I think that's quite good, because it does mean we're not going to play them and suddenly has a blinder and he sort of saves it for us. But you must be quite pleased. Well, you've made some pretty good signings. You've mentioned Ibrahimovic and Pogba, particularly. They're the 2 standout signings.
United, I think this is the best summer transfer window we have had in quite a long time. Since Fergie left, or even when Fergie was there. Fergie signed Kagawa, that didn't really work out. Fergie signed Nick Powell, that didn't work out. Signed Wilfried Zaha, that was his last signing, that didn't work out. So we've had a few years of, Moyes signing Fellaini on deadline day. Schneiderlin and Schweinsteiger, I was excited about that. Schweinsteiger hasn't worked out. And it's been 3 years of mediocrity and anonymity for United. But this is the season where we've had a really systematic summer transfer window. Needed a new striker, winger, centre-back, central midfielder. He got all 4 of his main targets.
But are you really happy with your manager? Clearly, all City fans are delighted with Pep. He's recognised probably as potentially the best manager on the planet. You were the only option for Jose, and he kind of took it. Are you really, genuinely, are United fans really happy with your new manager?
100% of the fan base is not behind Mourinho. Like, you see Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, I hate to fucking say it, but they've actually now got a manager where all the fans believe in what they're doing. And I believe that City have got that with Guardiola now. United don't have that with Mourinho right now, and that's something that Mourinho's got to work against. But the players we've got and the start we've had, 3 wins out of 3, and we've been in second gear. You haven't been that good either, and you're still winning. And so I think it's going to be, on paper, it should be a wonderful blockbuster derby, but I think it's going to be so cagey because you've got 2 teams who have control games going up against each other. Mourinho's home record in his whole career is phenomenal. Guardiola has had the best of Mourinho in his career as well. So on paper, I think it's going to be really cagey. And I think you without Aguero is a massive boost for us. I actually went on camera and said I wanted Aguero to play in the derby because I wanted everything on the table. I think team against team, see who's the best in Manchester. I got slated by a lot of you for that. So you'll probably be happy that he's missing Aguero, and I'm sure United will be. But how do you expect the game to go on Saturday? What sort of prediction are you having for that match?
Well, listen, I'm not going to come on here and say that we're not going to win, obviously. So I'd like to think that City can nick it. I'm sure it's going to be tight. I think the football that we've been playing is been really exciting to watch. You know, that possession football in most of our games, we've had something like 70% possession. And that's the football that...
Sounds like Louis van Gaal, though.
Well, but it's not. You can't compare. Some of the football we played in the first half against West Ham was breathtaking. It was fantastic. You know, we should have put 8 past them. So you could argue, well, why didn't we? And yeah, I think there's still some question marks about our defence, you know, if we're going to be honest about it. I think central defence is okay, but there are some concerns about our full-backs. But you can't change a side overnight. He's not going to make wholesale changes altogether.
Yeah.
So I think defensively we've got some issues, particularly with Ibrahimovic. I'm concerned about him, his height, his strength at set pieces. I think Pogba is a great signing for you. But similarly, we've got some fantastic midfielders. And we hold on to the ball? You know, and the other thing that's different this season for us, not just the way we play football and the way we press, but it's how we get the ball back again. Right. I think we're working harder than we did under the last regime.
We're definitely doing that as well. And it's something that United have become very complacent and lackadaisical out of possession. It's just, they let teams come towards them and they don't really pressure the ball. And I know Klopp plays it as well, and Guardiola, they play very high intensity pressure off the ball. We won't be playing that, but we're a little bit more disciplined and structured. You see Fellaini at the start. Fellaini, I don't particularly like Fellaini. I don't think he's that good a footballer. He has started off the season very well because he's playing in a disciplined midfield role. Pogba's been the runner, and Fellaini's just been the blocker, I suppose, if you want to get it in those terms. He's injury doubt, but I think he played for Belgium last night, so I think he will play. But Fellaini is a player I think could get exposed by how you play in the midfield because as soon as you pass it around him with 2 players, he's lost. He hasn't got the pace or the energy to run back. That's why I don't want to see him start. I think Schneiderlin should start, and he was excellent against you in the last derby. But for some reason, Mourinho hasn't played him so far.
Do you think he's going to play Rashford? Obviously, he scored a hat-trick last night for the under-21s, and he's not. I don't think he's used him at all yet, has he?
No, he came on against Hull, and he scored the winner against Hull, which was a big moment for him. But he's now got 4 goals in 110 minutes of competitive football this season, which is phenomenal. And you saw when we beat you at the Etihad last year, Rashford was the one who made the difference against Demichelis. Yeah. Same with Martial, the 2 players who made the difference. Against Hull, we had, like you know, dominating the game, had 20-plus shots, 70% possession, couldn't score. Yeah. Couldn't break them down until we brought Rashford and Mkhitaryan on and put pace in the game. And I think, I mean, you've got Nolito, you've got... How fast is Nolito? Is he a fast player or is he
not
quite
particularly,
slow?
No, listen, we've not seen much from him, but he's played
Where's your pace in attack then? Obviously you've got Sterling. Is there any other players in your attack that have really got pace?
Well, not particularly when you haven't got Aguero, but I think we've got the skill and we've got the guile and we've got the commitment, and so I think the way we knock it around, they just don't give the ball away. That's the issue. Right. And you know, if you don't give the ball away, you're not going to concede goals.
Is that because you've been playing teams that haven't been pressuring you? They've been giving you too much space? Is that
possibly? I think it's going to. Obviously, we haven't come up against a side like United who have had the investment and got clearly the last couple of years have been a disaster for you guys. You know, with the change of management that you've had, and clearly you're a bigger threat this year. I think we've ended up in the last 5 seasons ahead of you 4 times. So, you know, I've got
don't have to remind any viewers about that.
I think, you know, it's going to be different. I think, you know, you've got a decent manager there. We've got a fantastic manager. It's going to be really exciting.
Give me a score prediction for Saturday.
I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be 1 goal in it. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet, so I'll go 2-1 City. 2-1
City. I agree with you up until the point you said 2-1 City. I think there will be goals on both sides because I think if there's one thing that this game has got in it, it's goals, because I don't think, you know, saying that, United have conceded 1 in the Premier League this year, but I just still have question marks over defence that has Daley Blind and Antonio Valencia in, because neither of them are defenders, but somehow they're looking like solid defenders. We haven't got Chris Smalling, who hasn't played yet, but he was our best player last season. So we've got by far and away the best goalkeeper, and I think he's going to have a very, very busy day because you will get shots away. Hopefully, it won't be anything too intricate. And that's where what you said there. Man City haven't got pace in attack, so you're going to be playing intricate. You're going to be looking for the space in between defenders. If we can stay disciplined, we should be able to cut that out a little bit. And we've got enough pace to hit you hard and fast on the counter. And obviously, you've been playing Sanya in the first game, then Zappaleta in the 2 games after. So I don't know who's going to be your right back. But the full-backs are going to be where United really expose you, hopefully. If we play the pace, and if we do play with that pace, I'm going 3-1 because I think United have
3-1 City?
3-1 to United. No,
oh, sorry. Right.
Come on, Nigel. Can't say that on the United channel, can you? But what are your predictions for the game? Leave them in the comments. Thank you very much, Nigel.
Cheers.
I would say good luck, but I'd probably be lying.
Right.
I think you know that as well. Subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. We'll obviously be at Old Trafford on Saturday. So come and chat to Ira on the fan cams down to Matt Busby Way. And we'll speak to you, hopefully, after 3 points in the first derby of the season. Come on, United!